So what will happen if you travel at a speed which is the fastest speed possible in a universe, which is the speed of light? So of course, practically this is not possible because you require infinite amount of energy for this work to be done. But say theoretically, let's say we somehow manage the infinite amount of energy somehow, then what is gonna exactly happen theoretically when we actually cross that barrier of speed of light, which is the fastest speed possible in our universe? So once you try to reach near to the speed of light, what is gonna happen is that time is gonna slow down for you. And once you just touch the speed of light, what is gonna happen? Time is gonna stop for you. And once you cross the speed of light barrier, what is gonna happen is that the space and time for you are gonna switch their roles. Now same thing is what happens once you cross the event horizon of a black hole. The space and time coordinates just switch their roles, and there's like space becomes time like and time becomes space like. And so once you cross the fastest speed of our universe, which is the fastest speed possible in our universe, which is the speed of light, when you do that, the same thing of switching rules of space and time is gonna happen with you locally. And this switch roles is what happens in such a space time, is that space is gonna behave like time and time is gonna take a role of space, like they are gonna interchange their roles. So as in a universe, in space time universe, you see a three dimension, you know that you have three-dimensional freedom to look in space. Now time is what we can't able to see, just because it's a constraint of our mind. Now in a universe where space and time has switched their roles, I also call it time space. But it's just my personal word which I use. It's not a word we find meaning in any dictionary or any scientific paper. It's just my personal word which I use. So in time space universe, we have a three-dimensional exposure to time as we have in space, since they have exchanged their rules. And since in our universe, which is space time, we see an unstoppable motion of time in time space universe, the same is seen in case is the same thing is what we will able to see you know in case of space. So we have an unstoppable motion of space. So once you are in the time space universe, you have that 3D exposure to time as a space in our real universe, space time, and you're gonna have that unstoppable motion of space as we have time in our real universe, space time. Okay, so in time space universe it is what like that. So you're gonna have 3D exposure to time, and in such a time space universe you're always gonna move inevitably. So what, no matter what, even if you try to if even if you are not accelerating, even if you don't boost yourself, you always gonna move, just because the space is gonna flow for you continuously. It's always gonna flow for you. So in such a universe there's no concept like rest, because the space coordinate is always moving for you. It never stops. So when we talk about the particles, which is like tachyons, which are of course the hypothetical particles, and hypothetical because I mean sorry, hypothetical because they travel at a speed which is more than speed of light. Now this particle see the same universe which you call time, which I call personally as time space. So these particles always have some motion because the unstoppable flow of space. Now when it comes to slow down these particles to a speed near the speed of light or to speed of light, let's say, you need to give them an extra kinetic energy boost. Again, if you want to decrease the velocity of tachyon, you need to give them the extra kinetic energy boost. This is this is contrary to what we see in the real universe. If you want to accelerate something, you have to give it extra kinetic energy boost just to accelerate it. But to deaccelerate anything which exists in time space universe, which we see once you cross the speed of light barrier, In such a universe, if you want to deaccelerate something, if you want to deaccelerate something, you need to give an extra kinetic energy boost to it. That is quite bizarre. So this is how weird the world goes once you cross the speed of light barrier, which is barrier because it's the fastest speed possible in our universe.